So I was in the middle of this particular problem and my video cut out. So I'm going to continue explaining this one. As you can see, I thought I was recording and I continued, but I'll explain these last few problems on this page. So when we divided both sides by log of 6, that gave me 0.7737. That's log 4 divided by log 6. If you look at on my calculator, that's what I did. Got that value, 0.7737x. Of course, when I divide log 6 by log 6, I just get x minus 1. Then at that point, I subtracted 1x from both sides. So 0.7737 minus 1 is negative 0.2263. X equals negative 1. And then I divided both sides by negative 0.2263. And I got x to be 4.419. Log equations, there's several types. And depending on how the log equation looks, you do different things. So if you have a single log on one side and it equals just a number, that is when you're going to convert. This would be number 2. If there's only a log on one side, you'll convert to exponential and solve. So we kind of did this earlier in the week. So remember, this is your base, this is your exponent, and this is what it will equal your argument. So 5 to the third power equals x, and 5 to the third power is 125. So log base 5 of 125 is 3. On this one, again, I have a single log on one side, and I have just a number on the right side. So I will convert to exponential. I'm still on step 2 here. So 4 to the third power equals 8x minus 6. 4 to the third power, 64. At that point, you're going to add 6 to both sides, and then divide by 8. So x equals 35 over 4. All right. So now I'm looking at some other log equations. And so if you look at the front of that paper, it says if you have, here we go, if there are more than one log on each side of the equation, you have to condense to a single log on each side. So I have multiple logs on the left. I do have a single log on the right. So I have to condense this left side. So we're condensing using the rules that we learned on block day. So if you have a log of x plus 3 plus log of x minus 3, when it condenses, remember, addition when it condenses becomes multiplication. At this point, you have log of x plus 3 times x minus 3 equals the log of 16. And then at the very end, step 3, I've made a little change to this. It says if there is a single log on both sides, we are able to drop the logs and just solve the equation. So at this point, I can drop the logs because the log of this equaling the log of that, the thises and the that's have to equal each other. I know that's not very technical, but hopefully that makes sense to you. So I will FOIL x plus 3 times x minus 3, and I get x squared minus 9 equals 16. I could either subtract 16 and factor that, or I could add 9, and I would get 25, and then I would take the square root, and I get plus or minus 5. So the problem with log equations is that these values you need to check. You need to plug in these values for x in your equation because there are some restrictions to what kind of numbers you can take the log of. It's not on here, but you can, if you use your calculator and you take a look, I might clear this, and you try to take the log of 0, you're going to get an error. If you try to take the log of some negative number, you're going to also get an error. So the only values you can take the log of have to be positive numbers. You can take the log of a positive number, but you cannot take the log of 0 or a negative number. So I have to come back up here and plug in these values. So I'm going to plug in 5 first. 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay, I can take the log of 8. And 5 minus 3 is 2. I can take the log of 2. So 5 should be a good solution. Then I plug in negative 5. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. I can't take the log of the negative 2, so only the positive value works. So next, I've got the same situation. I have more than one log on both sides, so I need to condense this. So when I condense addition again, remember we multiply. So I have a single log on the left, but a number on the right. So remember, that is what you do is you condense it, you rewrite it as an exponential like we did here. So the base is not listed, but we know that this base is 10. So I've got 10 to the first power equals x times x plus 3. So I get 10 equals x squared plus 3x. I'll bring the 10 over, and I will factor. So x equals negative 5, and x equals 2. Again, we go back up and check. I can't take the log of negative 5, so that doesn't work. I can take the log of 2, and then 2 plus 3 is 5, so that's fine. So 2 is my answer. On E, I need to condense. Remember subtraction.